Dear friends, today I want to talk with you about a topic that resonates with the pain in the heart of everyone who has lost a loved one. I know how much you miss those who have already left, how often you just want to hear their familiar voice, feel the warmth of their embrace, ask for advice, or share your problems. This longing and desire to reconnect with loved ones are completely natural and understandable. Each of us copes with loss in our own way. Some bear their pain in silence, others share it with close ones, and some seek ways to maintain a spiritual connection with those who have departed this world. And there is nothing strange or wrong about this. For centuries, people have sought ways to communicate with their departed loved ones, creating traditions and rituals that help them feel the invisible presence and support of those on the other side. Today, we will talk about how to correctly and safely reach out to deceased loved ones for help and support. This is a very delicate and subtle topic that requires special attention and respect. We will not delve into mysticism or religious practices. Our discussion will focus on how to find solace and support while maintaining a clear mind and not harming your emotional state. I want you to know, you're not alone in your desire to talk to those who are no longer with you. Many go through this, and many find ways to cope with loss, learning to build a special, very personal form of communication with deceased loved ones. Let's explore together how to do this properly and safely for yourself. When we lose a loved one, an overwhelming desire often arises to turn to them for advice or support. This natural longing has deep roots in ancient times. Since time immemorial, people have sought ways to communicate with the world of the departed. Every culture has its own traditions and rituals that symbolically allow maintaining a connection with those who have left this world. Why do we so often want to turn to the deceased? There can be many reasons. Sometimes we lack their wisdom and experience in complex life situations. At times, we feel guilt for things unsaid or undone during their lifetime. Sometimes, we just want to share joy or achievements, to talk about important events in our lives. All these feelings and desires are completely normal. However, it is important to understand the difference between a healthy desire to preserve a spiritual connection with the deceased and an unhealthy dependence on the past. Turning to the deceased can be beneficial when it helps us find comfort, inner support, and move forward in life. But it can become harmful if it turns into an escape from reality or prevents us from building new relationships with living people. In the modern world, attitudes toward communicating with the deceased vary greatly. Some religions support certain forms of such communication through prayers and rituals. Other traditions warn against such practices. But regardless of faith and beliefs, the main thing is to maintain common sense and care for your psychological well-being. After all, our deceased loved ones certainly wanted us to live a full life, not remain stuck in the past. Before reaching out to deceased loved ones, it is very important to properly prepare for this moment. Such communication requires a special mental attitude and an appropriate setting. It is best to choose a time when you are calm and not in a hurry, when no one will disturb or distract you from your thoughts and feelings. An ideal place could be a quiet corner in your home where you feel safe and comfortable. This could be a specially created space with photographs of loved ones, favorite items that remind you of them. Many find peace in nature, in a garden, park, or forest, where they can be alone with their thoughts. Of course, a traditional place for communication remains the cemetery, where many feel a special connection with the deceased. It is very important to prepare not only the space around you, but also your inner world. Try to let go of negative thoughts, grievances, anger. Even if there are unresolved conflicts with the deceased, now is not the time for negativity. Focus on bright memories, on feelings of love and gratitude. Some people light a candle, play soothing music, or use incense before communicating with the deceased. This helps create a special atmosphere and set the right tone. Others prefer complete silence. Choose what suits you best. The main thing is that you feel comfortable and calm. It is also helpful to do a brief meditation or simply sit in silence for a few minutes, breathing deeply and clearing your mind of daily worries. This will help you focus on the upcoming communication and be more receptive to subtle signals and sensations. There are several main ways to reach out to deceased loved ones, and everyone can choose the one closest to them. The simplest and most natural way is through inner dialogue or meditation. You can simply close your eyes, imagine the image of your dear one, and mentally talk to them as if they were nearby. Many note that in such moments they almost physically feel the presence of their loved one, sensing their support and love. Another effective way is writing letters. When we put our thoughts on paper, a special process occurs. All our feelings and experiences become clearer and more organized. You can write about anything, your achievements and problems, joys and sorrows, how much you miss them. These letters can be kept in a special place, burned, or left at the grave. It's up to you. Visiting the resting place of a loved one is a special ritual that helps many feel a connection with the deceased. Here, you can talk out loud if you are alone and feel the need to do so. You can simply stand in silence, mentally communicating with your loved one. Many bring flowers, care for the grave. These actions also become a form of communication, an expression of love and care. Photographs can also be an excellent medium for communicating with the deceased. You can create a special album or corner with photos, where you will spend time remembering your loved one and mentally conversing with them. Looking at photographs, it's as if we return to those moments when we were together, and this helps feel a special connection with the deceased loved one. When communicating with deceased loved ones, it is extremely important to follow certain safety rules so that this communication does not turn into an unhealthy dependency. First of all, you need to set clear emotional boundaries for yourself. Remember, the main goal of such communication is to find inner support and comfort, not to escape from real life into a world of memories and fantasies. Pay attention to warning signs that may indicate your connection with the deceased is becoming unhealthy. For example, if you begin to avoid communication with living people, preferring to spend time remembering the deceased, or if you cannot make any important decisions without mentally consulting the deceased for advice. It is especially dangerous if you start hearing voices or seeing images of the deceased in everyday life. It is important to understand that deep grief is a normal state after the loss of a loved one. But if, after a long time, you notice that you cannot return to a normal life, that the longing and pain of loss are not diminishing but only intensifying, this is a serious reason to seek help from a psychologist. A specialist will help you go through grief without losing touch with reality. Monitor your physical and emotional state. If after communicating with the deceased, you feel drained, anxious, or depressed, it is a sign that you need to reconsider your approach. Communication with the departed should bring relief and comfort, not exhaust you emotionally. Remember, your loved ones, when they were alive, always wished you happiness and well-being, not endless grief over their absence. When reaching out to deceased loved ones, it is important to understand what is appropriate to ask for and what requests are better left unspoken. The most natural and proper requests are for moral support and spiritual guidance. You can ask for inner strength and wisdom to resolve complex life challenges, for peace of mind, and for acceptance of what is happening in your life. It is appropriate to share your worries and seek advice in moments of moral dilemma. After all, it is in such moments that we most often recall the wisdom of our departed loved ones. However, it is important to understand that the answers to such questions will not come from outside, but from within yourself, through the values and principles that those dear people taught you during their lifetime. However, there are things you should not ask for. For instance, you should not request material benefits, lottery winnings, or other financial windfalls. Avoid requests that would bring harm to others, even if you believe they deserve it. Such requests can lead to unhealthy thoughts and negatively impact your psychological state. When formulating your appeal, try to be sincere and honest. Speak as if the person were right next to you. There is no need to use special rituals or spells. Simple, heartfelt words will be the most appropriate. Remember, your connection with your deceased loved one is based on the love and trust you shared during their lifetime, so the communication should remain just as natural and genuine. Do not forget that any request should be reasonable and not contradict the laws of nature. The deceased cannot change the course of events or influence the physical world. They can only support you with their love, which lives in your heart. After reaching out to deceased loved ones, many people try to see or feel some kind of sign in response. It is important to understand that such signs are usually very subtle and delicate. This could be a sudden feeling of peace and tranquility, the unexpected resolution of a long-standing issue, or an inner confidence in the correctness of your chosen path. Often people receive answers through dreams, Dreams in which deceased loved ones appear may carry special meaning and provide comfort. However, it is important to remember that not every dream is a message. If the dream leaves you with a feeling of warmth, love, and support, it is a good sign. If, however, the dreams are frightening or cause anxiety, they are likely just a reflection of your fears and worries. Sometimes answers come through unexpected coincidences. A favorite song of the deceased playing at a significant moment, an unplanned encounter with people somehow connected to them, or finding an old photograph just when you needed support the most. But it is important to be cautious not to start seeing signs in everything. This can lead to unhealthy obsession. The most reliable indicator that your communication with a deceased loved one is happening correctly is your own state. If after such communication you feel invigorated, emotionally relieved, and ready to move forward in life, then everything is as it should be. If, however, you feel anxious, afraid, or drained, you should reconsider your approach to such communication. Remember, the main goal of communicating with the deceased is not to receive specific answers or signs, but to maintain that bond of love and memory that will always live in your heart. In conclusion, I want to address everyone who is currently grieving the loss of a loved one. Your pain is understandable and natural, but life goes on, and this is not a betrayal of the memory of those who have passed. On the contrary, the best thing we can do for them is to live a full life, realizing the dreams and hopes they placed in us. The memory of loved ones lives not only in photographs or personal belongings, it lives in our actions, in the good we bring to the world, in the values they taught us. Every time we act conscientiously, show kindness, or help others, we are in a way continuing the work of our deceased loved ones, and they live on through our good deeds. Remember, maintaining a connection with the deceased does not have to be through direct communication with them. Sometimes, the best way to honor their memory is to tell your children about them, share stories of their lives with loved ones, or do something significant in their honor. Perhaps plant a tree, help those they cared for during their lifetime, or fulfill one of their dreams. Do not be afraid to live on, to find joy, build new relationships, and achieve new goals. The love of those who have passed away knows no boundaries. It extends beyond life and death. They will always be a part of your story, your identity, your heart. And as long as you remember them with love and gratitude, that bond will live on. Take care of yourself and those around you. Cherish every moment of life, as it is the best way to express gratitude to those who gave us life and love. May the memory of your loved ones be bright, and may your life be filled with meaning and joy. Friends, thank you for being with me today. I hope this conversation has helped you find comfort and support during a difficult time in your life. If this topic resonates with you and you want to receive more similar content, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with those who may find it helpful. In the comments, you can share your stories and experiences. Perhaps your words will help someone going through similar challenges. Until next time.